Okay guys, before we get started on the video, I just want to show you this little thing I got. It's the dual fan deal, and I believe it's got low and high, but you can move them up like this. You can move it this way, that way. It was pretty cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks. But it comes down. Here's where the AC vent is. Well, it's also got AC vent here too on the sides, but this main one here, I kind of wanted the fans to catch that cold air and blow it back here for Nikki if we go on the hot rod power tour, if she's in the back. So it should blow there. Anyway, it plugs into a cigarette lighter. Anyway, that was pretty neat. I think I'm gonna get a little plug here for 3 sockets. I think I got another one in behind there where the exhaust cutouts are connected, and I got this real cigarette lighter, which I don't even know if you can plug in regular stuff in those things anymore. I don't know. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description for this little deal here. I just got a 2-way tape there, and I'll probably get another deal for the, I haven't looked yet for the camera, for the windshield. That's all I got there set up. Forgot to mention on the last video, yeah, this is the trip odometer. I know it flashes during the camera, but it's so basically when you turn the power off, turn the key off, it resets to 0. I don't know, I got about 10 miles there the other day, and then I shut it off at my friend's place there, and then when I got home I checked, went back from speedometer to odometer, and it was reading 0. So that ain't gonna work unless I write down the mileage. Like when I go on Hot Rod Power Tour, I gotta write down the mileage every time I stop and turn off the key for the day or whatever. Well, it's not really the key, it's just this toggle switch here that lights up this. I could leave it on when I'm parked for a little while, but I don't want to leave it on overnight. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that stuff, and we'll get on with the video of the AC work. Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics, where all the body work and blocking and repriming and everything is done. Well, except for this quarter panel. I'm going to block it down a little bit. It's pretty slick, and reprime it. But other than that, it just needs to be scuffed down with 320, 400 grit, and it's ready to paint. But before we paint it, I want to try to fix mainly the AC. So we'll go over the AC first. Everything's from the truck, the donor LS Silverado truck. I did get a brand new AC condenser. That's in behind the shroud here. Okay, so and I don't know any videos or anybody that's used everything from the truck, because somebody mentioned, how to do all this stuff, but this ain't. I'm using everything from the truck. Compressor, condenser, lines, everything. So this evaporator in here, of course, is the original from '68. See, I don't need any of this stuff, whatever this expansion valve and stuff. I don't need any of that because I'm using everything from the truck. Okay, so the lines for the 68 are cut here and here. Got 2 lines here. Okay. Now, from the truck, we got this line here coming from the compressor right here, then this one from the condenser. But the condenser one, this actually goes on there. Okay, I took that off because it was too long. I want to, and see, it's got a valve there, and then it's got another valve here. I don't know if I need both of them or they're both the same or what. I haven't got that far yet. So they go onto the dryer accumulator. Okay. So I'm going to show you on my truck right here. This is the way the truck system would work. Coming from the AC compressor onto the dryer. Coming from the condenser, there's your two deals there. And then this would bolt into the evaporator. And then the evaporator here would go into here. So you got the big one and the little one. Okay, so so the compressor goes into this. That end go into here. Okay, then this big one here would go into this, and then this little one would go into this. See, and I don't need this either. I'm not sure. See, it's got a lot of thermostatic type stuff. So, of course, these lines are way too long, and to get this in there. Now, I got a new one of these ordered. And I also ordered a new compressor. It was only like $96 shipped, like $92 and then tax. Because the truck, I swore when I first got the truck and got it running, the AC worked. And then it sat up for a little while, for quite a while. I don't know, a couple of months maybe. And then the next time I started it, turned on the AC, there was nothing. And checked the AC pressure, and nothing. There was no Freon in there. So either, you got 2 choices. Either it was out of Freon, or I was mistaken when I first started it, and it wasn't, the AC wasn't working. Or, in between that time and the second time I started it, that it all leaked out somehow. And the AC doesn't work in this truck either. It worked great for 7-8 years, and all of a sudden it leaked all its Freon out. I use leak detector. I cannot find the leak in this at all. I use a leak detector and the orange goggles and the light and all that. I cannot find a Freon leak in this damn thing. So who knows? So, but most likely from my experience, especially on GMs, is the compressors. There's seals in the compressor that goes out and they leak around the clutch pulley type thing, right? So that's why I got a new compressor for this one, even though this one works well. I mean, it doesn't make any noise. I don't have a switch to turn it on, but the clutch is free and the pulley works. But anyway, I got a new compressor, so I'm trying to take care of stuff as I go. I got the new condenser. I'm going to put the new compressor in. It's real easy to put in through the bottom, or, you know, hopefully it will be. couple of bolts. Okay, so I'm using everything from the LS motor, and I got a new dryer. So the dryer's gonna have to go in here somewhere, like that. So this line here, I could probably bend around and make it fit that. It's just getting this line into this. Now I'd have to cut it, cut that, and join it somehow. Okay. And then same with, we'll stick that there. Same with this line. I have to figure out whether I need both these valves. I guess I could take them off, see if they're the same size. One's probably bigger than the other, who knows. And then join this line into this line. Okay, but I got another idea. I don't know if it's gonna work, so that's what we're fixing to find out. Okay, so you don't know what this evaporator behind here looks like. All we know is that it plugs into that, and we don't know what it looks like, if it's the exact same dimensions as this one or pretty close. It's all with insulation in there, so okay, so we're gonna go over to the donor truck. That's why I keep this stuff around. I don't junk them. A lot of people take out their LS engine and junk the rest, and then they need all these little parts. Okay, so this is it here. Got that taped off. Okay, so we don't know what it looks like because, you know, it's not exposed or nothing. But it's in behind all this plastic stuff. It's just gonna be, I'm guessing that it's just all bolted in. That's what all these bolts here are for. And you got the heater core right there too. So I'm just gonna unbolt all them bolts and see if we can pull it out. Pull it out from here. Take this off, get this out of the way, and take it out of its plastic housing and see if the dimensions are the same as the 68. I got another one from my parts Chevelle. It's already out. In fact, I think I used the one from the parts in this one because this one looked really bad. And that's the other thing. I don't know if that's going to leak or not. But I'd say I had all this stuff apart when I was building the car, and I took all this apart and cleaned all the evaporator out. It was all full of crap in there, you know, debris and stuff. So I cleaned it out real good, put it all back together, but so we're gonna see if it's the same dimensions. It's probably not, but I don't know. We'll see if there's some way of making it work. If it's pretty close, so then I'm gonna have to take all this apart again, and I'll probably have to take the fender, the wheel well. I might try to just take the wheel well out if I got to change all this over. Okay, so and then the other problem, this is the original wiring for the AC compressor. See, this would go in the AC compressor, but we're gonna have to figure out some way of turning the AC on. I'm sure there's a relay fuse thing in there to turn it on. We're gonna have to figure out some switch turning it on. And then of course it's got a sensor here, I'm assuming for, you know, pressure, so it turns off or doesn't build a lot of pressure. And there's another one down at the condenser, and I don't know if I got that hooked up right or not. But anyway, I got no control, no AC controls or nothing from the truck that I could use for this. It was way too complicated of a wiring harness going in the dash and everything to save all that stuff and to use the truck controllers, and it wouldn't work. Okay, so that'll be the next problem after the evaporator problem's fixed. If the evaporator isn't fixed, then like I said, we're gonna have to figure out some way of cutting into this and splicing. You know, I don't have a TIG welder, aluminum welder, to join them up together. But that's one option. Second option is we're gonna see if the evaporator fits in there. If not, we'll have to go. Okay, then after that, we'll figure out how to turn it on. See, years ago, I bought a 94 Camaro. It was like 2 years old. It's like almost a brand new car. Bought it from the, not Copart, but like that was totaled. You know, I nicknamed it Zombie. It was just so friggin' smashed. And it was so hitting hard in the front that all the wiring harness was just ripped apart, and all that stuff. And I fixed the whole car, and I got another harness, but you know, it's a complicated harness. You can't just, it goes all underneath the dash. It's just a real mess. So I got another harness from another Camaro, and I spliced it all in. But of course, it's like that thick. It's friggin', you know, hundreds of wires just in the front thing, you know, or about 100. So I spliced all them wires in, and of course it's, you know, a few didn't match up or something. I can't remember. Anyway, everything on the whole car worked. Everything worked great, except the AC wouldn't turn on from the factory switch. So I found the wires, just a compressor, you know, it's just got 2 wires, kind of like this old 68, you know, I guess some negative and positive, and hooked it to a switch and turned it on, and boom, it worked, and it was blowing cold and all that stuff. Well, after about 5-10 minutes, all of a sudden it would go for just like, I don't know, 5 seconds, and then it shut off. I was like, oh shit, what the hell is that? So obviously it was building up too much pressure or something, and it was blowing it out somewhere. It never, you know, it didn't blow a hose. It was blowing it out some pressure valve or something, because it shut itself off. So of course I turned the switch off. But every time I, you know, drove it, I'd turn on the AC with my toggle switch, and then after about 5 minutes or something, I would turn it off for a minute or so and then turn it back on. And it seemed to be fine. Every once in a while, I'd forget to turn it off after 5 minutes, and you'd hear that psh again. So you can't do that. You can't just hook up a toggle switch and turn the compressor on. It's got to be, it's something to do with these things here. It either, I don't know, slows down the compressor, shuts it off for a little while, does something. And there's one there, which I got the factory truck right here. It's right here for it, see? But like I said, there's no AC controller from the truck inside. But if I can find someone smarter than me, that can figure out how to turn the compressor on and keep it from over pressurizing, that'd be great. But can I find someone? I doubt it. I don't know. Plus there's another switch. Another switch thing like this in the bottom of the condenser line. and I got that hooked up, but I don't know if it's hooked up right. I know the blue wire is, but the other wire, I don't know what it's supposed to be, a ground or something, but it may not be. So I don't know, does both pressure things have to work? But anyway, everything will be there for the truck, and eventually I could maybe find somebody that can wire it up so it'll work. Okay, so that's where we're at. Let me take the truck evaporator off, and I'll grab the other one that's in the shed, and we'll see if they're the same or very similar, where we can hook it in there somehow and make new insulation. And because you know, once it's in there, there's nothing else connected to it. All it does is make cold air, and then your fan, the blower, blows it. So it doesn't have to be perfect fit or nothing. Anyway, that's what we're going to do first. So let me take that evaporator off the old other donor truck, and I'll be back. Okay guys, got it off the truck. Definitely going to save this blower motor. You can see all the crap in here, but those are very expensive. I think, if I remember, I had to change it on my truck because a friggin' mouse got in there and died or something. And I turned on, it was sitting up for a little while, and I got in there and turned on the blower motor, and I was like bang, 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 bang. I was like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden it quit working. And I took it apart, which is easy to do from inside the truck underneath. And sure enough, there's a dead mouse and crap in there. But they're not cheap. I think it was about maybe 129 bucks off eBay. Who knows what it cost through AutoZone. Anyway, this is what we need here. The evaporator is going to be in here. Not sure exactly how to take this box off. Let's see, there's clips here, some little screws here, but I think I'm gonna blow all this. I think we'll probably have to take off all these little, probably 1/4 inch or I don't know, 5.5 millimeter deals. Yeah, to do the heater blower motor, it's just these 3 of them or something there, and just pulls out. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely save that since I got two trucks like that. Okay, say the rats had been in here. So I think we just got to take off all these little screws here, and I'll be back when I take that off, and I'll grab the 6 spare Chevelle one out of my shed, and we'll line them up and see how good they line up. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, I got the cover off. Yeah, here's the heater core, and this is what we need here. It's all full of stuff, but these are just filters. Okay, yeah, it'll have to be all cleaned out. Let me just see if I can probably gotta take this off. Okay, I believe it should. There it is. Okay, so let me get the 69 one, and I actually got another housing. I'll bring that over and we'll see if that'll somehow fit in there. There's a dime in there. But yeah, there's the blower motor, and I got an extra heater core. Lots of little goodies on here. Everything's, see, it's aluminum. It's not like the old 60s style where they're copper. All the replacement ones are like that, which is, you know, I bought one like that for the Nomad. Okay, so let me go get the other one and we'll check it out. Okay guys, this is the one off of Chevelle, 69 Chevelle. Like that. That's just like mine. I do got this little end here for, anyway, I'd have to take this, I'll take this little screw off to take it out, but I don't think it's gonna work. It's actually gonna have to go in like that. And as you can see, it's way too wide. Yeah, that'd hit the firewall. So right about in like that, and then it'd stick out that far. I don't think I'll be able to get that to work. It's got to be pretty. There's where the blower motor just blows the air through there and out. So it's got to be sealed up pretty good. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's not going to fit in there. It's worth a shot taking it apart, but like I said, it's got a big one and a little one, and that's probably what we're gonna have to do to this, is to cut this here and then cut this here, or cut it here, and find someone that can TIG weld those lines into there. It's the only thing I can think of. I'm gonna look at it. Well, yeah, I got that end on there anyway. So basically, but see, I don't know about these little valves here, whether I really just need to bypass them. I don't need that, and I don't need that. This needs to go. Well, we gotta get this on there. So this, I said this will go to that, and then that line to that, and then this line to this line with that little deal on there somehow. So it's gonna have to be I don't know. I don't really know any welders. I'll bring it by a friend of mine's and see if he's doing sublet work for a bunch of shops around the area. So I don't think he can do it, but he might know a shop that can do it. So that's my only hope, is to do that, I think. Okay, well, we're gonna leave that for now. Okay, let me move all this stuff back in the truck, this back in the shed, and then we're gonna move on to something else. I'll be back. Okay, guys, we're back after a short delay. I made that other video with the axles and everything, and we're back with the AC. I went and talked to a friend of mine. He gave me some ideas and some stuff I forgot about. So let's start with what I got at the store. I got a better propane torch than I got. Now this stuff is supposed to be hotter than propane. What is it called? I don't have my glasses. MAP. It's supposed to be hotter than propane. Got to get that aluminum. I think it's 730 degrees. Got this at Harbor Freight. It's actually on sale. Regularly like $24.99. It was like $14.99, $10 off. And it's one of those little, I don't know if it's got to take batteries or just, hopefully it's just a UVS thing to plug in and charge it. One of them deals that you point at something and it tells you the temperature. They come in handy anyway. Because it's very important you get the right temperature. You don't need one of them, but okay. Oh, and the aluminum you're welding to needs to be cleaned, and you can't use a wire brush. You got to use a brass brush or some hand sandpaper. So I got a little brush, might make it easier. So we got that. Okay. Now, oh, and at Harbor Freight, I also got these aluminum welding rods. Now, you can say welding or brazing or soldering or whatever. There's basically two different ways of sealing up aluminum, attaching aluminum, and that's the solder brazing type, or you get a proper TIG welder, or you can convert your regular welder like I got to accept aluminum wire, because you can buy aluminum wiring, but it's a lot different welding than it is steel. And it seemed to be a little bit messier. I watched some videos on it. I don't know. I think you got to reverse polarity on your welder, then you gotta turn the speed up like really fast, as fast as it'll go, because you use a lot of wire. And it looked a little sloppy, at least the guy that I watched. But this soldering method is very strong. And we don't really need it strong, we just need it not to leak. But it's very strong. I tried to rip it apart and it wouldn't rip apart. So what you're basically doing is you got to heat this rod melts before the aluminum will. So you get the aluminum at whatever it is, 730 degrees, but of course you can check it with the thing. So you heat all that up wherever you're joining it, and then once it gets up to about 730 degrees, you touch that rod to it, and the rod just melts like solder. And then you let it dry for a minute or so, and then it's just strong. But the one guy I watched, he wasn't doing it very good, and his leaked. He was building a little thing and put water in it, and he had a pinhole in it. We don't want none of that. But he was rushing to do a video, so you just got to clean it up really good. Takes the oxidization off, and just take your time. Okay, so what we have, I got my new dryer. Okay. Of course, it's not insulated, but I reuse this or reuse some better insulation on that. Okay, got a new compressor, but we're not putting that on. Putting that on till afterwards. We don't need it right now. Okay, so my friend suggested instead of welding, use this. This has got to go there. But instead of cutting this off and welding that to that, in case you need to replace this, he said to take the end off the other evaporator, which is this. Problem is, it's kind of like one unit. So we gotta cut that. I'm going to cut this off here, then cut it off here, and then weld this piece onto here. And we'll probably have to take this insulation off and get it a straight wherever I want it, which we want it, you know, pretty much straight up and down. We can, you know, we can have it curved a little bit, but I'm gonna see if that is the same width as the truck one. I don't really want to butt it up. I'd rather put a little sleeve in there, you know, a little sleeve, and then butt the two up together and have the sleeve over it, and then weld up on both ends. Now the problem is, it'd be a lot easier if this was out, but I'm not taking it out. So, because trying to weld up underneath here without it all dripping and not sealing good, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to do. I think I got a plan with that sleeve. Kind of heat it up and melt some aluminum on there and shove that sleeve in there. And I think that would seal it. And then just along the bottom, and then I can do the top and the sides once it's on. The only thing is, I don't know if it's going to do any damage to inside of the evaporator in here. I don't think it will, but you never know. So anyway, we're going to cut this off there and get rid of this, unbolt this. Now same down here. Down here it's going to be a little tricky too. But we're going to do this one here, be the easiest. Do that up here, and then we got to cut all this off to down here. And then we're going to have to figure out that little tube extension and getting that down in there. And then I didn't know that the little filter is right in here, he said. That's what that little dimple is for, so it doesn't slide out. So I didn't get one of them. I don't want it in there right now anyway, but that's why this has the extra line on it right here. Goes in there like that, so you can disconnect this here and replace that filter in there. Okay, so I guess we got to have that. But anyway, that's got to be attached down here. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'll try to set up the camera somehow, or just show you as I go what I'm doing here. I've never really done this. So I tried to do this on a I had a helper a few years ago, and I wasn't watching him. I had this parts Corvette, told him to take the engine transmission out. He must not have had the transmission unbolted or something hanging up, and he jerked that thing out of there. I didn't even know till a long time later, because I was just taking the motor transmission out to save it for something, and then found out the whole thing was cracked. He cracked the whole housing of the transmission where it bolts to the engine. And I bought some of this and tried welding it, but of course I couldn't get the transmission up to 730 degrees, and it never did work. So that's really the only experience I had with this stuff. But these little parts here, I think I can get them up to that temperature. And one guy on there was pretty good soldering it. Looked really smooth and everything, so hopefully it'll go like that. But we don't know. Could do all this stuff and it'll leak like a sieve. But who knows? I gotta give it a shot. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, let me show you what I got going on. Cut the ends off the truck evaporator. Okay, I cut this off. That went in there. Got that off, don't need it no more. The bottom one right here, that's just a little something I stuck in there, keep the debris out of it. That's where that went. Cut that off, don't need that no more. Okay, this is the one end. I just left all that on there in case I need it. But this end has got attached there, and I just stuck it to the old dryer for now. So that's going to go down there like that somehow. In there. And then this was a little Freon line too, I guess. We're going to have to solder that up. Now I got to figure out what I want to do with this. Put a sleeve over top or on the inside. Probably best on the top. But I don't know. Whatever I got. And I got to have it tilted so this this end stays over here. So hopefully I can bend this from the compressor in between here and around and connect it to here. Okay, so we're going to get this on this end here on first, and then we'll figure out how much room we got down here for this one. This has got to connect to this. Okay, then I cut this end of this bracket off here. So anyway, that's what I got done so far. So let me see if I can figure out something to connect here. Give it some strength instead of just trying to butt it up there. It's going to have some strength, and then we're going to have to put that bracket around the bottom and mount it somewhere. This I'm going to take it off. Yeah, this bracket here. There's the insulation from it here, and then this bracket. We can add on something to that, but yeah, it's got to have some type of strength to it, because that line from the compressor is pretty stiff. It's going to be putting some tension on there. This line here is pretty stiff. I think I can wrap it around, like I said. But anyway, let me get that done, and I'll be back. Okay, guys. Luckily, I got a little mini junkyard here. I got some lines. These GMs are all the same, because this size from '68 is the same size as this from 2001. And I wanted one a little bit smaller, but so anyway, I got a bunch of little pieces here from a Ford Explorer, and they had a bunch of different sizes. So I got this little piece here that will fit perfectly in here. Well, it did a minute ago, but yeah, there we go. Wiggles in there. So I'm going to put that about halfway in. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm not going to solder it yet. And then this will go in there. Well, I pushed it all the way in. I don't think I can solder one end at a time. Put it in here. Anyway, I'll get it exactly halfway in. It'll be something like that. Maybe leave a little bit wider gap and then solder around there. I think that'll be pretty close. I'd like to get a little bit, cut a little bit more off here, but I didn't want too much heat going 740 degrees and start melting fiberglass and stuff. I'm gonna wrap some I got some of the header tape right here. I'm gonna wrap it a little bit around there to try to keep the heat down. But I don't know if I should go in farther. I can't. I'd probably cut a little bit, maybe a little, like a ½ inch off this end, a ½ inch off that end. Move it about an inch closer. That way I got enough room for that. Anyway, that's how that'll look. I'm not going to solder it yet. My little heat indicator deal, whatever I did with it, this deal here, I should have read the box. It takes a 9mm battery. Wasn't included, and I don't have one, but anyway, that's a perfect little snug fit. Whether I can find something to connect these two lines, so we'll take this off for now, and we'll work on getting this line to this line with the what do I do with the other? It's probably still in the car. No, I must have taken it out. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, I probably showed it earlier. Oh, right here. Okay, so this'll, yeah. I can bend this down. Well, I gotta take that little filter thing out and see how big that is. And this may just need a 90. But I'll see what I can do with well, that might work pretty good. Stick that in there and weld it. But then again, this has got to come out to get at that little filter thing. Anyway, I'm gonna go in there something like that, and then we'll get this one done and soldered and everything there, and then we can attach this up here, and then we'll get this around the oil thing there and make sure it bolts in. So anyway, it's coming along. So I'll be back tomorrow. See y'all then. Okay guys, it's the next day. My first little experiment was a disaster. I tried to weld this end onto here to shorten up this hose, but I don't know, the ones on YouTube were saying you don't use flux, you don't have to. So I don't know, maybe I have to use flux. But anyway, it melted. It didn't seem like it was sticking very good. It kept sliding down and stuff. And then this was the little if I can find it, this was the little valve, and it just fell off. So I thought, well, I'm screwed now. Luckily I had another parts truck. I'll try it a different way here. There's a little torch. So I made this little sleeve here. It's out of a Ford Explorer. I'm gonna heat that all up and put a bunch of melt a bunch of aluminum around there, and then slide that on like that. Once that's on, this is the other hose I got, and we'll heat that end up there. Well, it should slide down. Anyway, it slides down in there about an inch, and then this bolts. That bolts on there like that. Okay, then I think I can get all this edge here, as long as this holds down here. Okay, so once that's on there, then I can put this dryer one right there. It's not, it'll be up there about like this. So that's basically how it'll look, like that. And then solder that right in there. Okay, so that's what I'm about to do. I can't set y'all up. I don't even have my little tripod anymore. It kept making clicking noises and stuff. And I don't want to take a chance of heating the camera. I got to put a bunch of stuff in here, try not to burn the fiberglass. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'll show you what I got going on now. Okay, I got that down there and right here. Some of it seemed like it was going in pretty good, but most of it was just sliding right off, like there's no penetration or nothing. So I don't know. Now I'm fixing to do this one, but it's got to be kind of bent like that. I soldered this end onto this and getting it set in shape. That's about the only place that hose can fit. So I kind of got it where it's going to be, and then I'm going to solder this up here. Yeah, I kind of got it in here pretty good. I did that on the ground. But trying to get this in here. So I don't know if it's going to leak or not. I don't have very much faith in it not leaking. So I don't know. You can either grind it down later and try to TIG weld it, or have someone else TIG weld it, or try to convert my welder into a weld aluminum. Try it that way. But anyway, I'm fixing to weld this piece on there, and I think that'll be it. And this little line here fits right there. Now I got to get a new filter that goes in here. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, here's that area there. This ain't as easy as you think it is. Soldering it, it's like it doesn't get a bite into the aluminum. The rod just keeps flaking off. I mean, I got tons of it falling down on the ground because it's just not sticking. And I had a little bit of dried up floss or flux, and spread that around there, and it didn't do nothing. You know, that's just for solder. So I don't know if I got the wrong rods that are, or what. They had a couple of different size rods, and I figured they were all the same, but I don't know. I tried to get it as good as I could, but I don't know if I got underneath there, right where my finger's at underneath. I don't know how good it is. So that's just all sitting on there. Nothing's tight. Got to put the new filter in there, put the new dryer on. Probably take that line off to when I change a compressor. But I don't know. I may hook it all together and I don't know. Put a can of Freon in it and see if it leaks. Waste a couple of bucks, but yeah, and I tried to use these pieces of header wrap there around the edges, but it wasn't. I used some masking tape and that just burnt up. So anyway, that's the best I can do. Most I can do is grind her down and TIG weld it if I want to go that route. If it leaks, it probably will though. Okay, then after that's done, then you have to try to figure out how to get the compressor to turn on. I have to hook up a switch. Hopefully I can just hook it up to a relay in here. My friend said that it goes. I got the plug right here for this, and then the plug for this line is at the bottom of the condenser, so I got that plugged in. But my friend was saying where it connects, and it's got to complete the circuit, so it's got to go into the switch heater AC control switch of the truck, which I told him I just cut all that off. I'm not going to put all that stuff in my dash. So he doesn't think it'll work because these just do the pressure, make sure it doesn't over pressurize and blow out the blowout valve. So anyway, yeah, that's almost touching the, oh, that's not bolted on, nothing's tight on there. Might be able to move that a little bit, I don't know. So I don't know, that's what I got to test out next after I fix the leaks. But anyway, that's all I got done for now. I'll be back tomorrow with something else. Okay guys, it's the next day. I'm gonna end this video because it's getting pretty long. So this one will be part 1 and next one will be part 2. Okay, all this spray stuff, when I sprayed air in here and it comes out here, and there's a bunch of water in there, even though I had them plugged off with masking tape. So I don't know, it's kind of crappy in there. So I'm gonna try to clean it out some more. I'm gonna read up some more. I just watched another video of a guy, aluminum or solder, and he used this one brand. So I don't know, maybe I'll order off of eBay, hit the brand he used in case it's that. Will mention, years ago I had an old fridge where I lived, and it had those Freon tubes up underneath the freezer. It was one of them where the freezer would freeze up, more like an ice box. And I think I was using a big knife and I was chiseling off the ice, and it had Freon lines on there, and I must have nicked one and it started leaking. And I can't remember if it kept leaking or if I turned it off it stopped, but I defrosted it or whatever, unplugged it, and put some JB weld on that Freon line where it was nicked, and plugged it in, and it stopped it. It worked for years after that without leaking. So I was wondering if I ground this off real good and packed it with JB weld. It's just this spot and this spot down here, but of course both ends. And whether that'd be good, because I don't really want to connect all the new stuff and keep taking it on and off and test it, and then it leaks. And but yeah, I kind of need a leak detector or a vacuum type thing, something to connect on both these, block off one end and pressurize it, see if it's leaking. I don't know, maybe I'll mess with that. But anyway, if you got any advice or something what I could do with that, let me know. And I'll figure out what I want to do with it. I don't think I showed the dogs. Dogs are doing good. Hey Nikki, how you doing? You doing good, girl? Nikki's doing good. There, Nikki. Come here, Nikki. Good girl. Nikki's a good girl. And Puppy's a good pup. Puppy's a good pup. So anyway, yeah, they've been doing good. And more cats. Had same time these were born, there was another litter over there. If you've been following me for about over a year, one of them litter, I don't know how many survived. I never did really see them after a while, but one of them, same color as these here, the reddish ones. It come over. It's been hanging around waiting for food. So it's been, I got 6 of them now. Have to do something with them. 6 of them that hang around. There's a couple of more living over there still, and then others that wander around the area. Okay, so anyway, video's getting real long. I got some more work to do on another car. Make a little video on that, and then I'll get back to this. Wait for y'all's comments. My friend's supposed to come over tomorrow or the next day for some parts, and I'll ask him about it. Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see y'all next video. And thanks everybody for watching.